Yosh, what's going on, brawlers? It is Soulburner Bakugan here with an actual Bakugan video. I feel like I've been lacking on my Bakugan responsibilities recently, so what better way to break back into the formula than to do my very own deck profile. And today we have my personal deck, the Red Fist Magic Shield deck. I don't really have a name for this one. It's just kind of my Red Fist beatdown, or Ora deck, if you will. So we have Pyrus Nobilius Ultra, Chaos Nihilus Core, and Arles Hydranoid Ultra. This gives us a total of 4 Red Fists and 2 Magic Shields. The ratios on this are very important. I've been thinking about how I want to go about doing this. After much deliberation, I came to these 3 Bakugan because they're absolutely crazy. So our big heavy hitter is our Arles Hydranoid. He is kind of our starting Bakugan. He's who you want to roll first. When you land on a Red Fist, he gets an additional 1000 B power. So if you play your chords right, you can get an incredible number right at the beginning of the game. That's really hard for your opponent to get over. Nobilius is kind of your runner-up. He's the second one you're going to want to roll, giving you time to get some energy and hold it down. And when he lands on either one of your cores, being a Red Fist or Magic Shield, he's going to get an additional 200 B power. So he's pretty sweet. I like him a lot. They all do, you know, a decent amount of damage. If you play Hydranoid right, he's going to be doing 5 damage every time he hits. And this, I just want to preface this while I'm talking. This is all before Age of Arles comes out. So I don't have any evolutions for either of these 2 Bakugan. So the evolutions all go to Nihilus Core, and his evolutions are crazy. You definitely want to maximize your evolutions for him, just because he works really well with these core combinations. So let's go ahead and go over the Baku cores, and then we'll take a look at the character cards, and then we'll get into the deck. So for our first Baku core, we're going to be playing 250 B and 3 damage. That's going to put him at 1450 with 5 damage when you open, and 1450 right at the beginning of the game is very hard to get over. Your opponent doesn't have any way of getting rid of your cores with 1 energy. They just have to hope and pray that they open better and have more 1-cost stuff to try to get over this. So he's really hard. He's a big mountain to climb over, and you're not going to make it easy for your opponent. So as you can probably imagine, we then have another 250 and 3 damage Baku core. Next, we're going to look at the Nobilius Ultra, where you could probably guess he's got another 250 and 3 damage. So you're maximizing the amount of 250 and Bs that you are running, because they really thrive off of these numbers. Because when Nobilius lands on it, he's going to be at 950, and again, like, that is a big number to get over. When you look at his Magic Shield as well, we've got the strongest Magic Shield you can get in the game right now, which is 650. So 650 plus his skill and his original B power puts you at 1350, which is really, really good. And if you can snipe your cores and you have a better idea of like how to do it, you got 1350 and 1450. Those are big numbers to get over. And by the time you get to your 3rd turn, that's when you're going to be rolling your Nobilius. He's going to be your last one, because you're going to want to wait and hold off until you can get those evolutions as long as possible. But he does not lack in the B power range when you are rolling him. So to subvert expectations, his Red Fist is actually a -5 damage. Now, playing this trap is a double-edged sword, but your opponent is going to want to, like, you're going to want to kind of mind trick your opponent into thinking that all of your Red Fists are 250 and 3. Because when you set up the board, this trap is going to go closest to your opponent. You're going to want to make like a line straight down the middle towards them, with this one closest. The -5 damage is really good, because if they land on it, not a lot of Bakugan have more than 5 damage before any of their evolutions. So if you end up losing the brawl, then it's fine. You're not going to be taking any damage, and it gives you another turn to kind of recuperate. Maybe play something at the end of the turn where you tap your energy, get a hero off or something. It's been working well for me, and I really like this trap. Not a lot of people see it coming, especially when you trick them into thinking that all of your cores are the same, because our last Magic Shield is actually 650 B power. So we kind of have a good flow here. The trap, you know, it can be a double-edged sword, but that's why we have a bunch of rerollers in the deck that are going to prevent us from landing on that ever, unless fate is just not on our side. So let's go ahead and take a look at the character cards a little bit. We have seen these during the box opening, so we have Hydra's Ultra, 200 B power, 2 damage, and 1,000 when he lands on a Red Fist. We then have Nilius, Magic Shield, Red Fist, 300 B power, 5 damage. And Nobilius Ultra, Magic Shield, Red Fist, 500 B power, 2 damage. When he lands on either of his cores, he gets an additional 200 B. So that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and move all this stuff off to the side. Focus up a little bit. We'll leave the Bakugan there. But let's go ahead and take a look at the deck. So we're going to start with our Pyrus cards, and then we're going to go into our Chaos ones. So we have 2 Quickfires. This card's really good. It's just a free reroll and 1 damage. It's a great way to end games. We then have Super Fuel, probably the best reroller in the game. It's insane. It's a 1-cost reroll. Next card you play costs 3 less. We then have 3 copies of Hot Potato. We're going to want to take away cores from our opponent. We do not want them to have cores. We just want them to be hitting as light as possible and reducing the amount of damage they're going to be getting from cores and the amount of B power they're going to be getting during their turn. We then have 2 Air Zeros. I've been thinking about taking this out. I have really good luck when I play this. I usually get an Evolution or a Dan off of it, but that's not 100% of the time. You know, it's probably like 70-30 where I'm getting flip cards instead. And it just lets your opponent kind of know whether to commit a bunch of damage to you that turn or if you're just going to be able to out it with 1 flip card. We're then playing 2 Inferno Wings. Again, we're just going to be reducing the amount of damage our opponent is going to be hitting us with the cores. So this removes all cores from your opponent, and that's really good for a 3-cost. Plus you get an additional 300 B power. Very, very good. We then run 2 Song of Fire, because this card is amazing. In tangent with Super Fuel, it is a first turn Dan Kuso, which we play 3 of. I'm thinking of reducing this down to 2, and then the Air Zeros will be replaced with Might of Syndius. I'm not a huge fan of Might of Syndius just because in my personal playthrough and experience, the card never comes in clutch for me. But if you guys have good luck with it, then I would say take a Dan out and then replace the 2 Air Zeros with... so that's 3 copies, so it'd be 3 Might of Syndius. Then for our flip cards, the only ones we're playing are 3 Block Outsiders for Pyrus. That's all you really need, because our Chaos ones are going to be coming in clutch with the flip cards. You'll see why in a little bit. Moving on to our Chaos cards, we have 2 Super Shot. This is a 1-cost plus 300 B power. Very good card. Cannot complain about it when opening, especially when you get it first turn and you open Hydrus. You're sitting on 1750, and that's even bigger to get over. Sky's Him, just kind of stack the deck in your favor. Draw a card if you have the most cores. With his evolution, you're going to be doing it a lot, so this card is very good. It's a draw and stack. We then have 3 Lights Courage. Again, with his evolution, you're pretty much always going to be dominating with Baku cores. Then we have 2 Energy Draw. This is a 2-cost 500. It's kind of the same effect as Super Shot, just turn 2 plus 500. 2 Consorts, because we want those Red Fists on him and him. So they're very good, but they're mostly for this guy. Him as well. Like, his evolution is just crazy with Consort. So we have 1 copy of Hyper Nilius. This is our 2-cost 500 B power, 6 damage. When he lands on a Magic Shield, he gets 200 Bs. When he lands on a Red Fist, he gets 2 damage. On to the boss monster of the deck. This is the card you're going to want to be searching for and everything. This is Titan Nilius. He's a 4-cost evolution, 800 B power, 8 damage, plus 200 when he lands on a Magic Shield, and you may attach an additional Bakugan from the field to a Titan Chaos Nilius. This card is actually misprinted, so if you have a copy and you're like, I don't want to play this because I don't want to run Nilius and Fangzor, fear not, this card is just wrong. I have gotten confirmation from Ventus Knight and a bunch of other Bakutubers that this is supposed to say to a Titan Chaos Nilius. So this card is actually crazy because you attach an additional 650 to this. That's why with Consort, it's really good because if you miss and get a Red Fist, not only are you getting your +4, but you can Consort and get 2 Baku cores because neither one of these are ores. So you can use both of these skills during your turn if you're able to pick up 2 of them. So this card is very, very good, and that's what you're going to want to be maximizing on. I was going to play a 3rd Titanilius, but just having this earlier, a 2 cost, is just much better. And since we don't have the other evolutions, that is going to be the maximum we're going to be using. Then we have 3 Halt Outsiders, just stop non. And then since we're running so many Red Fists and Magic Shields, we're going to be playing 3 Confuse. This is a 1 cost stop a team attack, essentially. With how many of these cores that you're running, this card will pretty much always be good, unless you're out of energy. But yeah, that is actually going to do it for this. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. I really, really enjoyed this deck. It's a lot of fun. It's just a great way of just stomping your opponent because your B power is just so high, and you're just going to be consistently doing damage. It's not going to be a lot of damage, but when you're winning every battle, it's going to be no problem for you. So until the next video, I hope you guys have a fiery day.